After 2 full months of storm here in Portugal, the sun has finally decided to come back up and spring is started. So to celebrate, I'm going to create a full floral theme in my bullet journal. Let's get started, shall we? For this, I've decided to use some dust pinks and some washi tapes that are floral and beautiful from a vintage pack I bought on Amazon. I am also using 3 different sets of stickers for this theme. One of them is by 3 Moon, another one by Fantastic Fumino, and the last one is by Erica Ward Illustration. If you are interested, I will as always put them in the description of this video so you can go and check them out. And we are starting as always with a little collage for my cover page. I'm only going to be using what I have on hand that kind of follow the same color scheme as well as some old paper. Do not worry about the book. It's been well used and well read, but that's its second life now as a paper for my journal. I am keeping the colors fairly neutral because I do want this illustration right here from Yiffy to be the center of the attention. It's the only time in this setup that I'm going to use something that is not a warm color or pink, so it's really popping up really nicely on this page right now. I am not sure if my handwriting is any better this month, but I am still trying, and that is all that counts. I do love those pens that I'm using for those. They are slightly shimmery, the only issue being that if you don't wait enough, they're going to be smudging the page if you put it against the paper. So you're going to see I'm using a different kind of paper just as protection when I'm putting the glue right there, so I don't put smudges on my page. It is going to happen later in the video, but right now we are fine. I am now adding some of those stickers I've talked about before, and I'm trying to keep it fairly centered so we can have a bit of blank space at the top and bottom of the page. I'm going to go around and do the same thing on the other side, keeping in mind to keep a bit of that blank place because I do not want it to feel overcrowded. Those stickers are really gorgeous on their own, so I don't want to make them feel a bit too crowded, and I want them to be the star of the show, which is why we're keeping things very simple and we're using the same tones through the page. And they're going to bring everything together very, very nicely. I'm also using those Sakura kind of stickers. They are from the sticky company themselves, and they're going to be tying everything together from page to page to make sure the theme is coherent and just flowing very, very nicely. I am making kind of a trail for them on this page so I can join the 2 different pages together and make them look nice and perfect. And then we're going to be moving on to my monthly calendar and my habit trackers. I have been kind of obsessed with layering washi tapes at the top and bottom of each of my pages in literally the past 3 months since the beginning of the journal, and I'm not going to be stopping here, and I'm going to keep doing this on all the pages of my March setup also. The washi tape I am using right now is from the Light Academia set by Notebook Therapy. I don't think it is available anymore, but I do love to tear it into 2 because it's quite chunky and then use the texture it gives me on the page. I think it's cool. I am pairing it with a dusty pink washi tape I got on Amazon, I believe. I'm not quite sure anymore, it's been a very long time that I've had this one, but I do love the contrast of the 2 of them together and the white of the page. I think it looks cool, especially as the borders of the page. I just love the look of it. I am using now some craft paper to be writing down the title, and you're going to see me mess up because I'm just not good at this, I'm afraid, and I had to redo it because I thought that the capital C was not big enough compared to the other letters, so I'm not really happy with it and I have to redo it, which is fine. It's all about the process and how we get there. I am starting to think about doing some worksheets to learn how to do proper calligraphy or just to print out the different titles, but I'm not sure. I'd still do like to try, even if everything is a bit similar and I don't see any kind of progress in my handwriting. So maybe next month. I'll just keep you posted for now. I am once again using a different paper to make sure I don't smudge the page. For now it's a success. There's going to be a point where I forget, but not now. Also, tell me if you've heard of that, but the roll-on glue I'm using right now, you can see that the shell of it is green, and the glue also is green, and I've never seen that before in my life of using those glue tape. Instead of being completely transparent, it's transparent with a tiny bit of green, and I'm very confused about it. Have you ever seen that before? It is definitely a first for me, and I was very confused when I started using it. But oh well, we just keep going, and I have to keep in mind to not use any kind of textured or transparent paper, because you can see the green under it, and it's really not pretty. At the moment I am reading my mood tracker. Every month I use the same 4 moods to be tracking, and I put it right next to my calendar so that I can track if there's any kind of patterns, and in terms of days, in terms of events happening on those days, those kind of things. I am also going and highlighting all the weekends so that I can divide my calendar into different weeks, and I have no clue why I decided to freehand it, because it looks awful. None of them are straight, and I definitely should have done it with a ruler, but for some reason I was like, nah, it's fine, and it kind of looked like all over the place, but oh well. And that's it for the calendar, keeping it simple. We are now moving on to the different trackers. Last month in February I tried a different layout when it comes to my habit trackers, and I did not like it as much as I thought I would. So this month we are back to the mini calendars to be tracking all of the habits. I think it's way better for me in terms of like visualizing the days and stuff like this. So back to what I mean. But before that, you can admire me struggling with my titles again, and especially with tearing the page. It's some recycled paper that I got, and it's really nice. I love the quality of it, but when it comes to tearing the different titles, it's a bit of a nightmare. I could use scissors, but I really like the look of the scrapbooking effect with the tearing apart, so it's just a process. And now I'm going to be doing those mini calendars with a light grey pen that I love to use because it does the job, but it's not in your face. And I'm going to double check with my eye at a glance, making sure that everything is actually the way it should be looking. I really don't like the fact that March as well as February starts with a Sunday, because it's this one little box on its own at the top, and I don't find it aesthetic at all, but you know, we don't really have a choice. I always prepare my little calendars before I start going in. I don't do full lines, I just do the teeny tiny corners where I need to stop the pen. If you're interested, I will definitely show the process in the video, but it takes a bit of time, which is why I don't put it in my videos usually, because it's just me counting boxes one after the other and struggling and using my eraser and struggling again. Like, it's not fun, but I would rather do that in pencil and be able to erase than do that in pen and then struggle a lot. If you've been following my videos, you know that I do use the white pen quite a lot to be fixing some mistakes. So pre-planning everything is really the way to go. And once everything is nice and neat, I'm going to be erasing all of the little corners like I just said, and I'm going to put the titles with this dusty pink that I'm using for all of the highlighting. Every month I track the same 9 habits, and I always put them in the same order, so you're going to see that I'm going to go back to the last month to make sure I put them exactly in the same order, because I do like them like this and I don't like to change things around, and I like it to be consistent from one month to the other. I do like the look of it on the page. I think that I'm not really a pink girl, I'm more like blue and purple girl, but I really like this pink tone exactly. Like, I find it so beautiful and so vintage, and I'm very excited to use it through the months. Next page is going to be quick and easy. It is my teaching pages that I use in my full-time job as a teacher. So I'm just going to be using the same kind of borders at the top and bottom, this time with a lighter pink and with a floral washi tape. And then I'm just going to be doing the title, and that is about it. Usually I'm going to go after and add a mini calendar for the next few weeks of teaching. We are just starting a new term, so I need to make sure I can plan every week for every class, knowing exactly what I'm going to be teaching, and that is what this double page is for. It does help me get organized and also does help me with writing down lists of things I need to be doing at work and things that I need to not forget, like creating the assessments, putting the grades in, all of that kind of things that is better on one page, so I can just refer back to it every day when I'm at work. Every month this page looks different depending on what I need it for, which is why I leave it blank at the beginning, and usually on the first week of the term I go and I fill it the way I need. But yeah, keeping it simple. And then I realized I did not decorate my tracker page, so I'm going back very quick with a few little stickers and making sure everything is nice and tidy. I'm using those Sakura kind of stickers again to make sure everything is nice and working together with the cover page that we did right before. I do love the look of that double page here, it's so beautiful. And once I am done with this, I'm going to move on to my content calendar. Before, I used to have like one big calendar on the double page, but that was not quite working for me. So I'm using the same kind of calendar for the month. Instead, I'm going to be divided it into two columns, one for tasks and one for content. With task being when I'm going to be filming, when I'm going to be editing, those kind of things, while content is going to be what I'm posting on each day. So I try, emphasis on try, to post also on Instagram and TikTok, but I'll be honest, I have not been consistent with it at all. So I'm really hoping that this time around I can just sit down and do a content calendar the proper way, so I can actually start posting on those platforms. And if you want to see if I'm succeeding or not, you can always check on my profile. I do have links to those two accounts, so please come and say hi whenever you want. But of course, it's not an overview page if I'm not struggling with the title. I had to try twice to be writing content. I do not like the fact that every time the C is much smaller than the T's for some reason, so I do have to try again. And then I'm going to go and do that calendar. Like I said, I messed up the first time around with the wrong pink, and I realized that because this one is more like bright, so I'm going back and adding more of that dusky one instead to be compensating. The problem being that the pen I use doesn't work because it's too humid at this point, and I have to go with the black instead of a grey, which is a bit more in your face. I do not like it that much, I'll be honest with you. But I was too impatient to wait for the highlighters to dry properly before I start writing. I am also going to be highlighting all of the Sundays on this page because that is when I am supposed to be posting on this YouTube channel, so I'm keeping that in mind every time so that I can work around the different videos that I am posting. I usually put the title of the video I'm working on, and then I work backward in when do I need to film, when do I need to edit, those kind of things. And the right page on the spread is more like a to-do list that I use through the months to make sure I'm not forgetting anything, like what are the different ideas I've got, what are the different things I want to do, just things like that I can jot down in terms of brainstorming and making sure that everything is on the same spread so nothing gets lost in weekly spreads and stuff like this. I do have a big brain dump kind of spread at the beginning of my journal for the entire year, so usually I go and I pick from there different ideas of videos, different ideas for different series I'm writing, stuff like this, so that they can be transferred from one to the other and I know exactly what's happening. And finally, we are going to be doing the first weekly spread of the month. I do not do dailies in my journal at all. If you're here for a while, you've done that. I find it useful for me to not have like perfect blocks that are all of the same size, because all of my days are different, and some of those days I need to get more things done than others. So for example, Monday and Tuesday I only have 2 lessons each, so that's going to be my prep day, and they need more space for lists than, for example, on a Wednesday where I only have like 1 lesson free. The little square at the bottom is for me to keep track of all the lessons I need to teach, and then everything else is just decoration at this point. And we are almost done with our spread. And here we are. Beautiful, beautiful March. Thank you so much for being here today, and please, if you like this video, subscribe, because I'm posting every week and I would like to see you again. Have a very nice day.